Good evening, folks. Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for a slightly different sort of stream. I received a rather interesting donation. So this is going to be a two-part sort of get-up. Tonight we're going to spend maybe an hour and a half brewing a deck, and then we're going to be playing it on Saturday. So the donation was to build a Rick Stompy deck and play it Saturday. So the obligatory part of the deck is that we're going to play 4 Ricks. And everything else is kind of like open to interpretation. Tonight I wanted to kind of like show off the process of like how we are going to go and build a legacy deck from scratch, doing a couple of things along the way, looking for sources of inspiration, as well as like maybe thinking about what the deck needs to be successful. Yeah, I know. It's kind of a crazy idea, but this card's really powerful. So starting from the ground up, in order for Rick to be good, we need to be playing humans, and preferably all humans. And maybe we want to accelerate this out a little bit faster, or we want to have it consistently. This is going to be kind of the finisher of the deck. So, like, how do we go about building the best Rick deck? That is the question of the night. I'm going to start by looking at some Soldier Stompy deck lists of the past and use that as a source of inspiration, talking about some of the weaknesses and strengths of that deck, and then we'll decide where we want to go with this. It might be easier if I just download this. Okay, that's importable. All right, Legacy, add deck, import, white black. I'm just going to get rid of the sideboard. So this was a Soldier Stompy deck list that I 5-0'd with some time ago. Like, it's been a hot minute. This was March of 2018 that I 5-0'd with this one. It's a little hard to dig up the Soldier Stompy deck list without actually taking some time to hop into it, but this will give us an okay point for thinking about some stuff. So Thalia, as one of the best hate bears in Legacy, is probably going to be an auto include in our deck. Daru Warchief could be something that we could use, but Rick specifically cares about humans, whereas this deck specifically cared about the soldier subtype, which is like why Enlistment Officer was involved here. So I think this deck is going to end up looking slightly different. But if we kind of look at the shell here, we have 23 mana sources, 4 of which are Chrome Mox. And in addition to all of the creatures, there's 8 other hate cards. Suppression Field and Chalice of the Void, supplementing the overall shell. If we take a look at this deck list, something that was like very powerful at the time was Palace Jailer. 2018, so we would have been looking at control decks that would have had a harder time taking the Monarch, and this was sort of the marquee card of the deck that really made it worth like exploring as an archetype. When I think back to this deck, I remember the deck being really clunky. You can see aerial responders and kind of O-ring for a creature on a stick, Fairgrounds Warden here, as ways to actually have removal or something that otherwise helps you stabilize versus Delver, because when you're the Ancient Tomb deck, that's something that you can have a lot of trouble doing. Enlistment Officer was supposed to be an endgame engine that gave you some card advantage, and Daru Warchief was supposed to go and grow your stuff. So when I'm looking at this deck list, to start with, I'm pretty darn sure that I'm going to want 4 of these. And I'm also pretty darn sure that I'm going to want 4 Cavern of Souls. And that's going to be a major starting point for this deck list. And so now another thing that I want to look at is some sort of humans deck list. This'll do. Okay, hold on, that won't do. All right, separate sideboard. Some of these things claim to be in MTGO formats or deck lists, but they're not quite in those formats. You have to delete the word sideboard so that they import properly. So in the humans deck list right now, there aren't actually all that many white cards. Thalia's Lieutenant can be another like big beefy like win the game card, and Sanctum Prelate can be another hate card, but there's not actually that much white stuff here. So that's something to be thinking about if I'm trying to like build this all-in Rick deck, is like what cards from other similar archetypes do I actually want to be looking at? And maybe this is an acceptable time to like grab a recent Death and Taxes list as well. So if we look at recent Death and Taxes lists, there's really not too much here in terms of humans. The creature types are really all over the place. So if we want to be building a Rick Stompy deck, we're maybe not heading in the exact direction that current Death and Taxes is going, because it's erring more towards things like Spirit of the Labyrinth and Skyclave Apparition that are not humans. So that brings us back to here. And if we want to have some aggressive elements, photo please, all right. We want to have some aggressive elements. We can maybe think about adding Thalia's lieutenants. And then I believe this is also a human. This is also a human. Yeah, there are some humans that create more humans. So for example, there's Precinct Captain. So Precinct Captain, when it deals combat damage to a player, you make a 1/1 white soldier creature token, and that's something that I can be thinking about. I think a real question here is how heavy on the Stompy portion of this deck do we want to be? Because if we go in the direction of Soldier Stompy, then we're going to actually have fewer bodies, and if we're playing Chalice of the Void, we probably can't play too many 1-drops. But if we're going in the direction of something that's more like Legacy Humans, we could maybe dip our toes into another color to get more disruption, and then play like a few utility lands, like Wasteland or something like that, to supplement the Ricks. So the question is like, how do we want to build the best Rick deck? I think this gets added into the conversation. It's just like a very powerful human, and it would be a great way to stop removal spells, because like we don't want all of our creatures just getting overloaded by removal. I like the idea of this being a Chrome Mox deck. But let's maybe slot those in there and see how that looks. If I play 1-drops, I can do something like add 4 Champion of the Parish and add 4 Mother Runes to the deck. And that gives me some pretty powerful aggressive starts where I can go and leverage some of these things that want me to already have creatures in play. And I could be ramping towards Sanctum Prelate earlier, ramping towards Rick earlier. This is the sort of thing where if you have a decent sized body, and by legacy standards, maybe we mean something like a 4/4, and then you like drop this, and then it's just like huge and has picked up 2 abilities, that probably steals a lot of games. But this deck probably needs more than just like Thalia as early interaction and disruption, which is what was making not that. Ninjas, you can go. We don't need you here. Which is what was making me think of some of the things that were in Soldier Stompy in the first place. But like as we can see here, the humans deck really needed to dip into a second color in order to make some of this stuff work out. And there's like much better options the more colors you go into for disruptive humans that don't cost very much. Like Thalia Heretic Athar is a great human. No, we don't want that. Is a great human, and if I end up playing some Ancient Tombs, that's pretty strong. But every Ancient Tomb that I play doesn't work well with a lot of these 1-drops here. Add a couple of those to the deck for now. And let's add some planes as placeholders, just so I get a feel for how many. I guess I deserve that. All right. Nope. Quantity 1. So how many lands did the soldier now be decked? So 19. Let's use that as a starting point. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This would actually be pretty close to a deck. Obviously, I would need to do a little bit of adjusting because I wouldn't just play all of these as planes. But this would give me some powerful starts. Oh. Maybe we play 4 Chalice alongside of these. Then I like find 2 other humans to start a curve off with. And I at least have something to work with as a starting point. There are a bunch of humans that are like interesting but a little bit narrow. There's things like Containment Priest and Aegis of the Gods and all sorts of other humans that are like good but not quite disruptive to get where I want to be. I really just want like another Thalia effect. Is Glow Rider a human? Legacy staple Glow Rider a human? Glow Rider is a human. Hey, over voltage. So like we could play two Glow Riders to just kind of like round things out. And the plan to beat creatures that hit the board is be bigger than them between Aspirant, Thalia's Lieutenant, and Rick. Or maybe not in complete Mad Lad territory. We'd probably cut 4 planes for 4 Ancient Tomb. And then that makes the Glow Riders less, like, absolutely crazy. I probably don't want to play any more lands that are producing colorless mana because I'm going to care about white a lot for both Sanctum Prelate and Rick. So I don't know that I actually play something like City of Traders that might be good in a lot of these similar Stompy decks. Yeah, this might be an okay starting point. I probably want some number of Caracas. Like, let's pick 2 randomly. And, like, we can goldfish a few hands with this to see how something like this feels. Oh, I probably need to have the cards for this. Oh yeah, Regal Cheap, it is Brew Night. So let me return Ye Old Ninja's deck real quick. All right. Now, not vintage. Go to the wish list. Remove those. Update with versions in collection. Add mission cards to wish list and export. You're not sure we'll get to 4 humans consistently. Yeah, let's goldfish some games and find out. Like, maybe I have too many legendary creatures, maybe there's not enough humans. Like, maybe I need to cut a like maybe I need to go down a Rick just so there's other things in the deck. Maybe I can't play Chalice. Like, let's get a feel for that. We'll probably play around in the kiddie pool a little bit tonight while I'm trying this. By the kiddie pool, I mean the tournament practice room. Oh no, do I have like the wrong number of planes naturally? We might have to borrow matching planes. That's unfortunate. Yeah, something that like poops humans is like totally on the table as being good. Yeah, depending on like whether or not the Chalice stays in the deck. Like we can jam more creatures in, or we can keep Chalice and cut some of this stuff for some things that produce multiple humans. Yeah, that's fantastic. All right, go here. Create number of players one. Yeah, there we go. I don't do this very often. Usually when I'm testing stuff, I just like do it in leagues. All right. So with this hand in the dark on the draw, we probably play Chalice and just like ignore this card. And I don't think we get to like YOLO Chalice on two and kill our opponent. Like let's pretend we're playing against a reasonable person. This would certainly be doing things against a lot of decks. Um, so we're missing a second white source for this, and we would have done 10 damage to ourselves, but I feel like this would have beaten a lot of people. How do you work out the sequencing? Well, it takes a lot of practice to learn how to play with bad cards. I can understand the confusion. I think you're used to playing with only some bad cards. We would chip that. I would keep this. And maybe toss back that. So we would go land, Chrome Mox, imprint this, play a Chalice on one, get punished immediately by drawing that, play another Chalice on one, pretending like it's good in the matchup. So this would be a turn 4 Rick. But we have 3 humans here. One of the humans is locked in her hand because of our own chalices. Okay. I really don't hate how these hands are, like, potentially curving out with Glow Riders. Yeah, I don't know if this deck is supposed to play Chalice. Like, maybe it's not. Ooh, yeah, like, Thraben Inspector is totally not crazy. So this would be a hand that just, like, can poop power. Or just do something like this. Like, that's... Okay, yeah, this is closer to what I'm looking for. Like Thalia's Lieutenant this turn into Rick next turn, or vice versa. Like maybe do it this way. And then just to like look at what these numbers look like. That's a lot of damage. And or Garrison is red. I have to like literally X out of this to escape this? How many sideboard games do we go to? All right, let's just X out of this. So maybe these chalices just end up in the sideboard. Straight up, I think we play 4 Glow Riders. Like between Thalia, Sanctum Prelate, and Glow Rider, that's a real amount of disruption. Even if I can't necessarily do all of it on turn 2. I can play chalices when I want chalices. And then I can just like be very, very creature dense. Glow Riders are not legendary, which is pretty huge. Like those stack very well like Brewing Mare does. Now I would have 2 more slots available. Yeah, maybe it is like Thraben Inspector. Like just have a very Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I want to go into another color though. Plains is good. I'm already gonna have like half of my sources being wastelandable. I don't think I want to turn that into like 2/3 of my lands being wastelandable. Also, like maybe we should do this. 2, 4, 5 versus 4. Yeah, that's fine. The other thing I could do is add something like Palace Jailer at the top end. But I think I just want stuff that comes down before Asper and Thalia's Lieutenant. Oh, I don't actually own those. I guess let's take a minute to build a theoretical sideboard, and then I'll borrow the next batch of cards. The weird thing about this deck is going to be that if I'm playing a bunch of like Glow Riders and Sanctum Prelates, it's going to be sort of interesting what removal I'm going to want to try to play out of the sideboard. And big, beefy, like 4 mana haymakers are sometimes going to be more than 4 mana because of Glow Rider. So that's going to be interesting as well. Ooh, a Castle Ardenvale. That could be a one of. Maybe not with Cavern of Souls, actually. Like Cavern of Souls and Ancient Tomb. JK. There's also, like, Legion's Landing. Is that a human? No, that's a vampire. Yeah, there's like Fiend Hunter and Banisher Priest that aren't Palace Jailer and would come in under a Rick. So I think the deck is going to want a handful of Containment Priests. Like, that's a human that hates on the graveyard. That seems like a good place to be. I assume I want to play somewhere on the order of 3 of those. I maybe need a removal spell. Like, Fairgrounds Warden isn't going to work because that's a dwarf soldier. Well, I guess most of these are soldiers. What are you? You're a cleric. Yeah, Revoker's not crazy just as like a colorless card that can answer things like Oko. Let's maybe do this one. Oh, flag, please. Floating Banisher Priest, go away. We're stuck. Did Moto crash? Oh, it looks like Moto's dead. Moto, please. Don't make me open Task Manager. I will do it. I think I'm doing it. Gonna get a nice crying Thalia in the chat there. I think that's the first time I have had Moto die on the deck building screen. I think that's new. Also, if there's any sort of like return all creatures from your graveyard to play sort of shenanigans in white, that feels like it might be good here. Thraben Doomsayer, Thraben Tribal, please. I mean, we're not so far away from that. Oh, we lost some amount of work. That's unfortunate. Okay. So let's repeat what we did. I junked those. I went up to 4 Glow Riders. I junked 4 of these for Snow Covered. And then I added 2 Thraben Inspectors. Yeah. Something like Return to the Ranks might be reasonable. Okay. Alright, so we were just on the Banisher Priest train when Moto pooped itself. So let's go like 1, 2... Three of those, some Containment Priests. No. Let's chuck those in the sideboard. I want a couple of things for control. Be Armageddon. Just get a head on board, which I'm very likely to do in every game ever, and then cast Armageddon. Doesn't play super well with Glow Rider, but, you know, whatever. What was it, Elspeth's son's nemesis that pooped soldiers? Is that this? Dusk Dawn. Yeah, these are all, like, close. Ornia, thank you very much for the continued support. Let's tick that sub counter up. And I don't know. The other thing I could do is just like not play Banisher Priests, and for the Delver sorts of matchups, just play 4 Swords to Plowshares. That's maybe not crazy people talk if the Chalices are in the sideboard in the first place. I mean, I got a box of bad white cards sitting on that shelf, so I get it. All right, so go ahead and pick up those cards real quick. Shout outs to Card Hoarder for allowing me to do BS deck building sessions like this without spending money. Love them. I don't know that like we have the best sideboard or anything or the best main deck, but this is a good starting point for the brew. We can maybe try to put together a multicolor version of a Rick Stompy deck as well. Or like we can try to put together a humans version that like also plays this and it's just like very, very aggressive. Agrippa, everyone forgets about Glow Rider. I think I still have like an MP or HP copy sitting in that box. Just in case. The card order bot is running around probably trying to find this. Like, who wants this card? Why do you want this? This will probably be fun. Might steal some games, might just die. Might need to play Lotus Petals over Thraben Inspectors. Plenty of unknowns. Also possible that I should just play like Giver of Runes over Thraben Inspector and give up some human equity or just more protection for the more relevant cards. Just kind of spitballing here while I wait for my cards. Hey there. Go dunk on some people in the kiddie pool with this deck. Or, flop around and die in the kiddie pool. I'm good with it either way. Tournament practice. We're playing against I Play Bad Decks. That sounds appropriate. I think we mulligan this one. Good luck. You two. We'll go to 5. I'll keep this. This. Yeah. I think I'd bank on trying to double Glow Rider my opponent out of the game. Alright, 2 uncounterable Glow Riders. Let's do it. Yeah, Dauntless Bodyguard isn't going to protect from Swords to Plowshares, though. I will say on behalf of everyone, oof. Triome? Bug Triome? Maybe a 4-color loam deck of some kind? That stifled an aspirant trigger, alright. You got me. I have no idea what my opponent is doing now that they have fetched Tundra. Yes, I guess I just send in the aspirant this turn. Oh. Okay. Well, that explains why my opponent was willing to use a stifle last turn. I've seen a harsh mentor in a long time. Okay, so that's the sort of thing that my opponent is doing. Flash shenanigans. I can just stick another Glow Rider. I can let my opponent draw cards if they're not drawing into things that I care about, like things that they can cast. Again! Yo, dog, I heard you liked Thalia. Yeah, the 4 mana Swords to Plowshares doesn't feel super hot. Then again, neither does this Chrome Mox right here. That's okay. I accept the price that has been paid. I don't really know what my opponent's doing to like super well, so I don't know that I can sideboard all that well against them. Maybe I just hit submit. Yeah, I mean this whole like uncounterable Glow Rider thing, Ancient Tomb thing seems fine. Swords to Plowshares is probably good against my opponent, but at the same time, like I want to be the Sanctum Prelate Glow Rider deck against them. Maybe our deck's perfect. Yeah, deck's perfect. Let's not change anything. Turn 1 Glow Rider, let's go. Maybe turn 1 Thalia Heretic Cathar. In all seriousness, my opponent is playing a lot of lands that are going to ETB tapped. Yes, yes, yes. I think I'm going to hit them with this one first because this has the highest impact if it's played on turn 1. And then I'll hit them with Glow Riders afterwards. Lot Nam's Legacy. Interesting. Took a Glow Rider. How dare they? How dare they? I mean, Glow Rider into Rick seems sweet. Unearth? Opponent's deck is crazy. I say as I cast Rick Stalwart Leader after playing Glow Rider. Lifelink, First Strike. Yeah, so I need more humans to turn on Rick's, like, quote unquote good ability. I wonder if opponent is playing like a singleton legacy deck or something like that. Opponent said they love the list. Yeah, opponent is playing Tainted Pact. That makes sense. They are playing a singleton deck. Let's see. So I have 3/6. I can only deal 7 this turn, but that can kill Lily, and that can hit them. Fair. But now if you get rid of that, you're dead on board to these two just coming at face. GG's? Alright, let's look at the deck for a second. Was Benevolent Bodyguard was what was suggested over Thraben Inspector? Yeah, sorry, Cardboard Live isn't the best at detecting some of the Walking Dead cards. Ithion. Ithion is aggressive, can become indestructible, and can also turn into a Planeswalker? Ithion's not crazy. Do we go pick up 2 Kithians and then jump back in? Yeah. Sure. Hero of Akros? Yes. I'm just gonna pick up a couple of Benevolent Bodyguards while I'm placing this order. Just in case we don't like Kithian. Yeah, this deck is very much putting the stomp in Stompy with Luminarch Aspirant Thalia's Lieutenant. Like, crush. Yeah, so I don't know about the white-white 2-drops. Because if we're willing to play a white-white 2-drop, we have good options in Tomic and Precinct Captain. I just don't know that like white-white 2-drops are good when I'm playing Ancient Tomb. All right, let's get back in the kiddie pool. Yeah, deck needs true name. Look, we're not looking splash colors at the moment, and we're certainly not looking to splash that scumbag merfolk. Absolutely not. Battalion foot soldier. Now we're talking. Oh god. Are we dead? We getting belched? We didn't glow rider on turn 1. That was our problem here. Okay, we're maybe not dead. Yeah, Bentley, that was on one of our Wednesday or Thursday night legacies, I think. Whenever that was. Oh wow, opponent fizzled. And they just conceded. Their hand must have been real bad if they just conceded there. Alright. 4 Chalice. Let's go. I think I just board out the Ricks, like, get rid of the top end. Oh, actually, discount TNN is not crazy. Although, I don't know. I don't think it's as good as in the format as it was a couple months ago, weeks ago. I don't know. Time's weird. Yeah, I think I just board all of these out. Maybe Mom's, like, keep some of these for the lifelink. Yeah, maybe I should board out all 4 Moms. I need to try to mulligan to a turn 1 hand. Yeah, I probably do since my opponent kept 7. Uh, this is a Chalice on 0 on turn 1. This is probably as good as it's gonna get on 5. Alright. We're facing a good number of goblins. Don't know that I can beat that. Anything? Without a turn 1 play. Yeah, so let's junk the Mother of Runes and keep all of these. Do you have life link or anything? No. Turn 1 Chalice on 0. Turn 2 Prelate, turn 3 Prelate. Or Chalice on 1. Either way, I'm keeping this hand. I have to just figure out what I'm putting Chalice on. I think it's 0. Stopping the artifact mana is really good. I think I just imprint this, even though I could play it this turn. First Sanctum Prelate will go on 4. Geez, are we still getting emptied here? That's brutal. On the play, there's worlds where I beat this, but I have to draw exactly land and Rick. And then I don't even know that that still does it. I get attacked for 13, and then I can have 5 lifelink. Yeah, this is not getting there. I really thought Chalice on 0 would buy us 1 turn. Wait. Okay, someone just created one, so I should be able to join. Nope. Great match, number of players 2. I'm just trying to hit join though. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I mean, Sanctum Prelate's kind of a beating. Yeep. Pitch Athalia, play Athalia, uncounterable turn 1. What deck you running? Oh, it's complicated, really. I should put the deck list into the Cardboard Live extension if I'm gonna like play around and mess with a couple of matches here. Sai, we're essentially playing a mono white human Stompy deck. Oh. Gotta love Cavern. It is nice. Where's my instance can't be countered land? You monster. Ancestral would like a word. think I'm gonna board in Chalice of the Void, not knowing what our opponent is playing. Trim a couple of these and the Kithians on the draw. Alright, Mario, this deck is gas. I'll I'll show off the deck list after this game. Let me go ahead and get it into Cardboard Live, though. That should only take a couple of seconds. Clear deck, start over, stream Magic Online, upload deck list, Rick Stompy. There we go. That should be visible momentarily. Yeah. I go to a different phase. And then play Mom. Now I don't need to since they brainstormed. Basic Swamp, huh? Well, the jig is up that I don't have another land, so we'll need to top deck one like a boss. Also, what deck is my opponent playing that has, like, Daze and Basic Swamp? Thank you. Looks like our opponent kept the one lander. No, they have another land. They just, like, can't beat Thalia? Alright. The whole main deck plan of, like, Thalia, Glowrider, Sanctum Prelate as bombs is working surprisingly well. The Kithians still feel a little... Like, this slot still feels a little weird to me. And I don't know about our sideboard numbers at all, but... Yeah, ninjas might make sense. Ninja sometimes, like, has severe mana base issues that aren't solved quickly. Just let me join this. Alright, fine. I will make my own game. Wait like a pleb. Oh, we found Nathan. Kill the shit out of Nathan. Good luck. You too. Oh yeah, Nathan has a history of trying out some really interesting ideas. He was really big on trying Blood Sun in the red Stompy decks, for example, which is something that a lot of other people weren't doing at the time. And He was on the edge of people trying out Chandra Heart of Fire in the same deck as well. We have gotten a yikes from our opponent. Oh yeah, we are going to pressure the crap out of some Delver. The question is, do I just want to play a Champion of the Parish around Days? Or do I just want to play the Thalia that's backbreaking if my opponent doesn't have Days? I think I play the Thalia so that I can live the dream of maybe 2 cards next turn. Yeah, let's go. Also, like, holy crap, the power that I have in this hand is huge. Alright, how does this card work? I always forget. Okay. Guess we're going this one this turn. This thing's gonna get big. It's going to get very big. Whatever. Let's race. Oh no, this was a bad idea, wasn't it? Because of first strike. Fuck. Don't see that, Nathan. Don't see that. Don't see it. Oh wait, hold on. It's highest, not low. Okay. Alright, sorry, I messed up. I'm used to Death Shadow. Do we just jump here? Nah. Still a little spooky. Should have technically probably done this in the other. Nah. It's fine. I need to block 2 things potentially on my turn. I need to block like this and this if my opponent attacks in with all. Then I take 9, go to 2. But my opponent probably has to leave back 1 creature. This is a huge champion of the parish. Just by BTW. Bentley, the queue is short. So I have 1. It's 9. I'll jump block here. I have Saturday planned out, and I have a stream sometime in the next 2 or 3 weeks planned out, but I don't have most of my stuff for next week planned out. So I attack in, my opponent blocks, they take 6, go to 1. Or no, sorry, this can't attack this turn. Yeah, I'm not quite there. I'm in bad shape. Let's see. So I have to block all 3 of those or it's lethal. That's unfortunate. But that is what it... So this leaves me with a 6/6 that is representing lethal. Opponent surely has something, though. I'm looking to draw a land for Rick and then hopefully do something. Did not get there. I just want to point out that our opponent never drew any non-creature spells other than Force of Will. Yeah, Indestructible Kithian is definitely a thing. That said, I don't know that this is actually the plan. Maybe something like this. I would like to play first. Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep this. And is very, very good if I draw another land in the next maybe 2 turns, and then otherwise it's pretty weak. Yet. The land? Yeah, please just like cantrip or something. Yikes. That'll do. Obviously not what I want to be seeing, but it'll do. Bye, Rick. We've 2-for-1'd ourselves twice with our Chrome Moxon. That doesn't feel good. I think I have to go to Oko so Oko can't steal my prelate. But this is like very unfortunate. I just probably don't come back from that card. Again, I don't think I can let my opponent have a Mother of Runes. So we have to keep the number chosen as 1. That's interesting. I have to take this. And I think I just passed the turn here, unfortunately. And just get buried by Oko. My opponent has effectively just doubled their life total. A bunch of my top end is gone now, unfortunately. With like, I think I have 2 Ricks sideboarded out. Oh no, I don't have 2 sideboarded out. That was the previous match. I do have 2 of sitting under Chrome Mox, though. The fact that my opponent has 3 different colors of creatures is a little rough right now. A brainstorm. Uh, all right. I don't love this. I think it's happening. Ugh. All right. We're dead to that. Not literally, but effectively. How long have I been doing this? All right. Let's do one more and see if we can get a feel for like how I should change the sideboard. I haven't really been boarding much. I've been like boarding in the like either Swords to Plowshares or Chalice, and like maybe my plan against graveyard decks should just be like beat them with the Thalia Prelate Glow Rider stuff, and I shouldn't be using slots on Containment Priest. Let's try not to queue against this person again. So I'm just going to create my own separate one here. Rickroll Stompy. I like it. I like it a lot. Good luck. You too. This turn 1 champion, turn 2 Thalia or Glow Rider, depending on what we feel like doing. Opponent has mulligan to 4. That means we're either looking at like a very weak opening hand for my opponent, or they're playing something like Reanimator or Dredge. Yep. I don't really have a choice. I think I need to show them the Caracas on turn 1. Oh, no Entomb. Ooh, now I can get to 4 mana this turn. 4 mana doesn't do much for me. Um, put this under here. play this. Then if I draw a land next turn, I can play both Sanctum Prelate and Thalia. Although I think just playing a Thalia should end things. Yeah, Nathan, you can grab the deck list from Cardboard Live. That should be the easiest way to get it. Just doing a little brewing tonight. We're just playing around in the kiddie pool to see how the numbers work. We didn't draw a Rick to play it. All right, let's pick up 3 Containment Priests and I guess 3 Chalices. 4 Chalices. I didn't get a notification just now, but sometimes it takes a second. I think let's go Rick out, Pythians out, and Luminarch Aspirant trim. Yeah, I mean, Glowrider redundancy with Thalia is cool. Nope. Also, nope. Turn 2 Containment Priest on the draw seems like too slow. But I think I need to keep this. Pitch one of these. Pitch one Glowrider. Maybe I should just be playing ley lines, actually. If I have so many things once I make it to the mid game that are going to be good against combo decks, maybe I just like stop getting cheesed. Actually makes a lot of sense. That's pretty good. Let's rip Caracas. Got 2 of them. Lowrider. Yeah, I think I Glowrider. Nope. JK. Iona. That's why I'm dead. I remember now. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, maybe we're a leyline deck. We have a pretty good chance of just like getting our opponent when we're on the play though. Like if we can just turn one, Priest, Thalia, other Thalia, Glow Rider, Sanctum Prelate, Chalice. Most of those are contingent on having a Chrome Mox though. No. Turn 2 Glow Rider. When opponent kept 7. I don't think I like that. Keep. Junk that. Junk that. Done. Chromox. Bin Champion. Land. Thalia. I will need to rip more than just this, but this is potentially a very good start. Okay. Entomb Reanimate. That's a bit of a kick in the teeth. In order to get to 4 mana to do that all in one turn, opponent has to have double Dark Ritual. You had 4 mana before, why did you Lotus Petal? That was just like a full-on waste of a card, right? Also, Cabal Therapy targeting me naming Containment Priest doesn't work because I just flash in the Containment Priest in response. Yeah, I mean, they definitely messed up the math. Arrakis for great justice. Opponent has another reanimation spell. They can trade my Thalia for their reanimation spell. Yeah, I think we're settling in for a slightly longer game here. But now opponent has a billion cards left over, so if they can also produce a second creature, then things start to get a little bit spookier. So like they can discard to hand size to put the Grizzlebrand back into the yard here. But if they can't do it this turn, it's all fine with me. Yes, we have, I believe, Ripped, Ancient Tomb, Plains, Chrome Mox. We started with Chrome Mox, this white spell, and Thalia. A Chancellor has hit the bin. So Reanimate is off the table, which means Sanctum Prelate on 2 is like really damn good. We might get there yet, chat. The opponent now needs to like hardcast an Eleshnorn in order to get my Sanctum Prelate out of play, and then reanimate a Chancellor. They have white, but they've used 2 Dark Rituals already. So they're on a 2-turn clock from Prelate. That's frustrating. Exhume is actually a little spooky for them in some ways, right? So like they exhume a Chancellor. The Chancellor can't really attack, otherwise I attack them back for half of their life total. Also, you can just like hardcast those. Just saying. I guess I should play this Plains if they know about it, because like Sire of Insanity is a thing that can happen. Don't mind if I do. The opponent's going to take this opportunity to fetch and then sacrifice their children to gain 3 life back. So this represents the 4th point of power. Does it do it? It does! We were pretty unlucky in the middle of that game, but we got very lucky towards the end of that game that Caracas was very good, and this Containment Priest was also quite good. Yes, GG, opponent. Okay. Thoughts on the deck now? I do kind of think I should just be a Leyline deck. Like, let's play with 4 Leylines, 4 Chalice, 4 Swords to Plowshares, and then 3 cards of some kind for control matchups. It could just be something like Pithing Needle, and just like Pithing Needle Oko or something like that. The issue with these 4 mana non-creature Haymakers is that if I'm stacking up Glowrider and Thalia effects, these become relatively hard to actually cast. Yeah, maybe this isn't the way. Let's find 3 cards to fill in the sideboard for a control matchup and then call it a night. Maybe it is still just those, or maybe it's Palace Jailer, and like I awkwardly play Palace Jailer because it's something that can answer Plague Engineer, which would be very good against me. And I don't want to be boarding in Swords to Plowshares versus the control decks. I could just like straight up play Oblivion Ring. It answers anything and is okay with Ancient Tomb. Yeah, Cast Out being 4 mana is like real rough with the Glow Riders and Thalias though. I could also just like play another first striking creature, such as a Precinct Captain, in the sideboard. I can also just play like Precinct Captain main deck over Kythian. I board out Kythian every time. Like every single time. But maybe in game 1, just having another thing with the human creature type is fine. Yeah, maybe that's fine. Maybe I'm overthinking this and like the Armageddon plan is still good. And we'll just run one of those Elspeths instead so that I can fit in the 4th Leyline. Alright. Deck's perfect now. Alright, so On Saturday morning, I'm actually going to play through a league with this deck. Tonight was just to do the deck building portion and really get a feel for where this was supposed to be going. I hope you all enjoyed this portion of it, but we'll play against some real decks on Saturday and see how this deck holds up there. As far as other content from me on Bosch and Roll channel, on Bosch and Roll's channel on YouTube, I have a historic D&T league that I put up with Brian Koval. Again, that's Bosch and Roll. That's really cool if you are at all interested in like formats on Arena. We did some really cool things with like Luminarch Aspirants and Thalias and such that you would probably enjoy if you watched this. Give me just a second and I'll link that. All right, copy video URL. There we go. So if you're interested in that, there is that league, so you can check it out. Otherwise, I'll be back on Saturday. If you're enjoying my content, please consider doing something to support that, whether it's following, subscribing, or doing something else.